We have to have the Father's heart in order to complete the Great Commission. And notice it is a commission that we are to be together as a team, as a family, pursuing Jesus and obeying Him and obeying the Great Commission. Speaking of the Great Commission, do you recognize that there's more than one Great Commission passage? There's actually 5 Great Commission passages in each of the Gospels and in Acts. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and the book of Acts. So in Matthew, we have the method. In Mark, we have the magnitude. In Luke, we have the message. In John, we have the model. And then in Acts, we have the means. So what is the method of making disciples? Men were His method. So He challenged us to make disciples who make disciples. We are engaged in the process of leading someone to Christ. We have the privilege of baptizing them, and then we are to teach them to obey. Then in Mark, we have the magnitude, that it's all nations, that the Father's heart is for all nations, and Jesus wants us to take the gospel to all nations. Then we have the message. He teaches about the forgiveness of sins, the message of repentance, to turn and follow, and that there is a message of the gospel that we need to clearly communicate. So we've got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and then John. He says that he was a model. He was a model for us, just like in Deuteronomy where it says he told Israel, be an example to your children when you're lying down, when you're sitting, when you're along the road. Be an example in everything that you do. And Jesus said, I was that kind of an example for you. And then in Acts, He reminded them, you can't do this apart from me, that you need to wait for my power, my filling of the Spirit in order for you to accomplish this Great Commission. It has to be motivated again by my love, by the Father's heart. And that's why the Father's heart and the Great Commission are so intimately connected, that it has to be motivated by love. But also, if we love Him, we are going to obey Him, and we are going to make disciples that make disciples. We're going to multiply through generations of disciples in churches and develop leaders that are going to impact our community, our city, and the nations. And that's what He has called us to do and to be. Just a sad note is this, that George Barna, at least in the U.S., has communicated that when he surveyed churchgoers, that only 51% understood that there was even a Great Commission. Let us not be lacking in obedience and understanding of what God has called us to do. It's by His power and by His love, but He's given us a commission to accomplish in obedience. If we love Him, we will obey Him.